hard apple cider today. And I'm sampling from the last batch. Enjoy. And welcome back to Just the Good Bits, good tips for life. We're having a good time today. We're drinking hard apple cider, homemade. I'm gonna have to sit down. Most of this stuff, believe it or not, you're going to have at home, the stuff you absolutely have to have. I'm going to do a couple extra steps for those of you that want to go a little step up, but we're going to do small batch, 1 gallon. We've got a 1 gallon jar. I drilled a hole in it. I lined it with a grommet to hold my airlock. The airlock is something you have to buy probably online. If you don't have a homebrew store or wine store near you, you can get that at Amazon or eBay. It doesn't cost much. So, a fermenter, you're going to need sanitizer. I'm using IO4. You can get that on eBay or Amazon. If you're going to bottle it like I am, you're going to need to buy a bottle capper, bottle caps, which you can buy on Amazon. If you're going to go your first time, you want to keep it simple as possible, you can use recycled soda bottles for bottling. We'll show you that. We're going to use a turkey baster, which you probably have at home, for sampling so we can get a specific gravity reading. Specific gravity is read on a hydrometer. You can buy that on Amazon. You might not want to do it the first couple times. Just make sure you know what you're doing. It measures gravity, which is the amount of sugar in the liquid. You take the beginning sugar, and after the yeast eats it, the end sugar, and then you can determine alcohol by volume that way using this chart. And we're going to use distilled water because it's clean. And we're going to start with the sanitation. Let me clear some of this stuff up. We'll be right back to show you sanitation. Okay, sanitation. We're going to use IO4, and we're going to go by color. It's the quickest way to do this. We're going to add a little to the water. We'll get it the right color, which you'll be able to see. That amber color, that's a little darker than you actually need, but that's good for sanitation. Now I'm going to dump this in here to sanitize some of my basic parts and refill this, and we'll adjust it again. We're sanitizing our turkey baster and our airlock and our lid in here. I'll make sure we get the airlock totally submerged, all the water in there all the way. Same way with a turkey baster ball. Squeeze the air out, and put the lid in there. That's all that. Now, we need to top this off with water and get the color right. So we're going to do that up the top. Just look at then it says 2 minutes. I usually give it more than 2 minutes. 2 minutes is what it says minimum on the back. It's not going to need much more. We're a little strong on the other side. Just want that a little bit of amber color. There we go, we got it back. And this takes 2 minutes according to the directions. We're going to leave it on there a little longer. It's got to be clean before you do this. And then this just goes away, eats at the cell structure of any molecular wild yeast or anything that may be in there, so it's safe for you to ferment and add your own yeast. I forgot to mention you also have to add yeast, which we didn't have on the table before. We'll show you the yeast packet when we get started. We'll be back in a few minutes. To rinse this, it's dump and go. That's the nice thing about IO4. Most of your sanitizers you have to rinse. We're back. We've done our sanitation time. Like I said, it's no rinse. We're going to dump this and start making cider. We're going to add 3 cans of apple juice concentrate.
Is there any criteria?
There's no preservative in this. You need to make sure you get preservative free. Preservatives will stop the fermentation and kill the yeast.
Where'd you get that jar?
The jar is a pickle jar that we recycled. The jar came from Walmart. I also seen them at Bilo.
Actually, it came from Sam's, but that's okay.
Came from Sam's? Excuse me. Well, there are other options. Now we're not going to go all the way full. We're going to leave some head space. We're going to take some of this out and go with the hydrometer. Now, we're going to see what our sugars are. We're going to take our original specific gravity. We're going to do that with a sanitized turkey baster. That way we don't contaminate it with wild yeast or something else, give it off flavors. We got to put enough in here to make the hydrometer float. So. Definitely one more, I guess. We'll set this aside. We're done with that. We'll let this sit a minute. We'll come back and read that and tell you how that works. Put the yeast in. Set up our airlock. And we'll let that go, then we'll come back and talk about the hydrometer. For yeast, we're using champagne yeast. You can get this online from Amazon or eBay as well. You can find other places. My fingers, I can't open it.
That's Red Star champagne yeast you got there.
Red Star's the brand name, yes.
But any brand name will work.
Any wine yeast, ale yeast will work on this. Lager yeast. I'm going to set up our airlock and lid. Going to get our grommet in.
So why do you need an airlock?
The airlock is just to prevent any wild yeast or any contaminant getting in there. I know in the old days, I was in the Navy back in the old days. Back in the day, I guess you could say. Some of the guys on there can't bring alcohol to sea. You're not supposed to have alcohol. They need their alcohol to prevent DTs. And they would take Kool-Aid, they called it bug juice back then, and put it in a jug of some sort like this, put saran wrap on the top, poke a hole in it, or a surgical glove and poke a hole in it, make sure it was on there tight, and that served as the airlock, because just the hole would only open when there was pressure.
I noticed you left some water or some of that cleaner in there. That's not going to get back?
Yeah, we got sanitizer in there, and that's just to make sure nothing can go through there while it's sitting. Now we mix the yeast in there, and that should start fermenting. Tomorrow we should have some bubbling. Let's talk about the hydrometer. We're going to give it a spin here. Take a gravity reading. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that with a camera or not. I'll move this out of the way. Stick it to the side, trying to get a true reading here. Supposed to be able to just spin it and it'll pop up. And our specific gravity is 1060 on this. 1060 is not a big number. We look at our chart, which I don't know if you can read from there. 1060 is right here, and this is apple juice, so we're doing cider, our gravity is probably going to get down to 1.02 at 1060. We're probably going to have an alcohol content of 7.8. according to this chart. That's some big cider. And we'll get back to you later as it progresses. This is September 7th, Sunday, and it's 3:30, just to give you an idea on the timeline. Thank you. Okay, same day, 9:42 p.m., so it's a little later, and we do have bubbling, which means we have active fermentation. It hasn't peaked yet. Just to give you an idea, we will show you more later. Update over. Okay folks, it's the next morning. We see active bubbling. And 2 weeks we'll be able to bottle. 2 weeks from there we'll be able to drink from the bottle carbonated. Thank you. We'll be back for the next episode.